Yes, absolutely. Well, we do have the WPI deflation, rather, which has come through. It's much lesser than what it was in the previous month. It has been continuous for the past 5 months. That is the deflation in the WPI, but it's come in at around 0.5% in terms of a decline or a deflation as compared to over 1% in the previous month. So it's definitely less in terms of the deflation that we've seen in terms of WPI. We're still waiting by for the key, the key constituents of the WPI. And while we wait by for that, we have Rupa Rege Nitsure, who's the chief economist at L&T Financial Services, joining in to discuss her take on the WPI data. Well, in deflation mode for the fifth straight month, Rupa, how would you read the WPI and what are the key constituents that you're looking for?
Actually, I was expecting it to be, to get back into the positive growth zone and change the trend of the last 4 months, because you see, we have seen such, sharp spikes in food and non-food prices within primary articles group, and also global commodity prices, especially energy and metal prices, also posted sharp increase in the month of August. So I was expecting WPI to get into the positive growth zone. Of course, the deflation is shrinking. So maybe from next month onwards, we will see again, it returning to inflationary zone. That is the positive growth zone.
Okay. Rupa, hi, good afternoon. Surabhi here. What's the expectation, as you're saying that we'll probably move out of deflation, get into positive, but what's the overall expectation that you have both on CPI and WPI? Because, while we're still well above the comfort zone, I think the view on the street is that come September, October, at least on the food prices side, things should start cooling down. How do you see the trajectory over the next couple of months as we get into festive season, both for WPI and for CPI?
Yeah, sure. Let me first speak about the CPI. I agree with Reserve Bank of India's assessment that, vegetable price shock will get reversed quickly because this is a usual seasonality. But I'm more concerned about cereal and pulses prices because there we are seeing some kind of persistence because of, unevenness in monsoon. And, because we had a long dry spell in the month of August, so that may impact the rice yield. So, and now you are seeing that, reservoir levels also are depleting every week. Last week, for instance, a week before last, we had 11 states which had reported, below normal reservoir levels. Then in the last week, 13 states are reporting. So that doesn't augur well for the outlook of Rabi also. So I feel food inflation is going to persist for a longer time. And to add to that worry, now we are seeing global crude oil prices also have started increasing at a faster pace because of OPEC production cuts, etc. They have already crossed, US dollar 92 per barrel. So that will have ramifications both for inflation as well as India's import bill and current account deficit, fiscal deficit. So I think Reserve Bank of India will definitely postpone the rate reduction cycle.
Okay, all right. The RBI is probably going to postpone the rate reduction cycle. That's the word coming in from Rupa. Just want to point out that the food inflation has come down for the WPI figures as well. Remember, it was a sub 10% figure for the CPI, and that's come in at around 5.62% for the WPI. The fuel and power is still in contraction or deflation mode, so it's at around minus 6%. And we have the core inflation, which is unchanged at around minus 2.2% as well. Rupa, just talking specifically about the WPI data, what is the trajectory that you expect currently, considering that we also have Brent crude prices, which are now elevated above $85 per barrel, say on an average for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, as I said earlier, that if you look at the way US economy is growing now and it's posting stronger results, other countries also have started coming out of contractionary zone. I think in the UK also, economic data has been improving at a marginal pace, but it is. So point is that this news is not very good for oil prices, and we are seeing a lot of demand for metals, minerals, etc. So if global commodity prices, to which WPI is very sensitive, so if they keep rising at this pace, then definitely WPI will come into the positive growth zone sooner than later. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the disinflation in the fuel and power component, that has reduced quite a bit. The numbers are flashing in front of the screen. From a deflation of almost 13%, it's half to just about 6%. That's the fuel and power component, and that obviously is probably a factor of the fact that, for one, oil prices are moving higher, and maybe we'll see more of a flow through in the coming numbers as well. That's on the fuel side, Rupa. Let's talk about food. Even on food, the pace of price growth has reduced. The fuel inflation number for WPI stands at 5.6% versus 7.7%. What's the expectation? Because again, the joker in the pack is the monsoon, and we know we're some 11% deficit. I think this was data as of September 11, pan-India deficit 11% till the first week of September. So given that, and given the way the sowing trends are shaping up, what are you expecting on food inflation specifically over the next 1 or 2 prints?
See, I feel cereal prices, pulses prices, and to some extent edible oil prices will be the main contributors to food inflation going ahead. And vegetable price inflation will come down after the monsoon season, because during monsoon season there is always a disruption to vegetable supplies, etc. But this time also government had artificially controlled food inflation by aggressively taking some supply side measures. But how long they will be able to take that is a real question, because if the shortages are real and if we see lesser yield than expected, both from Kharif as well as Rabi output, then naturally it will have its impact on food prices. And why just only food prices? I mean, non-food prices within primary articles, which comprise of fodder prices, etc. There also we may see some kind of escalation because of the dry spell, because the production of fodder also suffers. So point is that I think inflationary pressures are seriously building up in India, and Reserve Bank of India, which has been saying that it wants to bring down inflation on a durable basis within its acceptance zone, they will certainly wait for a longer period of time. And that's why I'm saying that the rate reduction cycle, I feel, is now postponed. It will get postponed because of these tendencies.
Okay, all right, Rupa, we're going to let you go on that note. Always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that is the word coming in on the WPI deflation, or rather inflation, which is in deflation mode for the 5th consecutive month. But let's see whether it moves into positive terrain, considering that we do have commodity prices such as Brent crude hardening up. Core inflation, or deflation rather, continues to be stable at around a -2%. We'll take a short